Time for the only radio show of its kind. Auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, veterans of vintage. It's the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. For the next hour, enjoy great information about buying and selling antiques and collectibles, and some interesting stories. Now, the Donley Auctions Hour.
Welcome to the Donley Auctions Hour. Thank you for joining us. We're here every Saturday at 1 o'clock, 1 to 2, one whole hour. And I'm Susan, and I'm here with Randy Donley. We are the owners of Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois. And we're here today to help you decide if you have anything in your home that's worth putting in an auction. But first, we want to talk about the crazy week we just had. How are you, Randy?
Hey, Susan. I'm great, actually.
We survived another auction.
Yeah, we did. Boy, what an auction, huh? It was great.
It was a great auction. I love our firearms and military auctions. It's just a packed house full of people. Everybody's in a great mood. I don't know if it's the pizza or the beer or both. But they are just great people to know. So thanks for coming out, everyone who came out on that beautiful Saturday and Sunday.
It's certainly the merchandise, too. I'll tell you, there's nothing like firearm auctions in the state of Illinois or anywhere. And just to remind all of our listeners out there, we're always looking for more firearm collections, whether it's 1 gun, 10 guns, or 400 guns.
That's right.
You know, we can come and help you liquidate that collection that you may have inherited or just time to get rid of.
That's right. Now's the time. The auction we just held was May 20th and 21st, firearms, ammunition, and military. So we're going to give some highlights of what sold, because these are the type of items we're hoping you have in your house, your garage, in a Foot Locker, inherited from grandpa, collection from your husband that may have passed away. We have an FFL, so we are legally allowed to pick up and transport your firearms for you. So give them some ideas of some of these great things that sold over the weekend.
Oh, my goodness. You know, it's just incredible. You know, we talked last couple of weeks about the Jesse James pistol, or what we would call the Glispin pistol, which was the sheriff of Northfield, Minnesota. I mean, that gun sold for $30,000.
That was a fun phone bid that we had on that one.
You know, there was an engraved Colt pistol that sold right after it for $25,000. And here's the story I want to tell you about that, Susan. This is great. Gentleman brought it in and showed it to our gun appraiser. And Neil says, "Hey, what do you think you need to get out of this?" And he says 8 to 12. And you know, Neil said, I can certainly see 8. He said, but 12,000 could be a stretch on this one. He said, you just never know. And the man looked at him shocked. And he said, I was talking 8 to 1,200. And not only did the gun way surpass the 12,000.
That's right.
It ended up at $25,000. That can only happen at an auction.
That's right. And I was on the phone with the gentleman. I can't recall where he is from, but he was not about to stop the bidding. He wanted it and was going to keep going until he won it. It was very exciting.
And, you know, the Jesse James Colt, or Glispin Colt, as we'll call it now, actually is going to a museum right here in Illinois. We'll talk about that.
We can go visit it anytime we want.
Down the line. But, you know, it's just great that people are able to sell at auction, because otherwise you're playing the best guessing game. So auctions is still the way to sell your items, your antiques. It really is.
Especially firearms, you have to do it the legal way. You can't just sell it to your next door neighbor.
You know, that's one thing, Susan, we do keep pushing here. 100% legal. You need to comply with state and federal laws, and we can do all that for you. So don't take the chance as to how you want to sell your firearms. Make sure you're doing it the right way.
That's right. So keep in mind, too, our next firearm and ammunition auction is Saturday, July
Second weekend in July.
Yeah. And I should know this. I think it's the 14th.
We've got enough time. You know it's going to be in July, so you need to be calling us now.
That's Saturday. Yeah. So there's still time to consign to us. So give us a call.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
At 815-923-7000, and we'll give you next steps.
Sure. Just yesterday, Neil went and picked up 50
more
guns from one person.
Yeah, it's a fun auction.
Again, never too few or too many.
I like it because we can actually carry the items. Usually we have such big, heavy stuff
Yeah.
We can all carry the firearms. That's what I like about it, too.
Day 2 of last week's auction had some really interesting highlights, too. I mean, it was the military portion where we sell uniforms, military relics of all kinds, be it just medals, insignias, or uniforms and everything. But if I remember, you had an item that was
what was my favorite item in the auction? That World War II paratrooper helmet.
A German paratrooper helmet.
Yes, it sold for $7,750.
$7,750. It was pre-auction estimated at $4,000.
That's right.
And it exceeded that.
So we're always looking for helmets, uniforms, World War II items, things like that. But you also mentioned more than once about the Colonel Davis grouping. Tell us how that went.
That actually did very well also. That it was a local hero from Evanston, Colonel Edward Davis. And that grouping sold for over $8,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Just uniforms.
And I know the owner of the Polish captain grouping that we had in the auction as well was actually at the auction himself.
He was, and again, so happy to have sold it
saw him
at
celebrating.
Our auction.
Yes.
Well, and it was just a win-win because Polish uniforms are so extremely rare. I mean, they really are. The Polish veterans just don't get the recognition that they should for fighting during the war and everything that they went through and everything. But the beauty of this is we were able to put this uniform now in the Polish Museum right here in Chicago.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
They were the buyers. So
yes, that grouping sold for $5,000.
Oh no, it exceeded that. But that was the range. I'm quite sure it hit more than that. But the exact numbers not as important as knowing
the consignor was very happy. He was just ecstatic.
And where it went. I mean, this is history. And to be able to place this in the Polish Museum here in Chicago, which is such an incredible organization, it's just just an honor.
Yeah, and just everyday firearms and shotguns. That Winchester Parker, I think it was a 28 gauge. That one sold for $4,000.
Yeah.
So firearms, ammunition are selling very well these days, folks. If you're listening out there, call us. Tell us what you have, and we will tell you what you can do with it.
Well, here's another interesting little thing, a little tidbit about German relics. There's so many people that criticize the collecting of German or Nazi military relics, which are war trophies our GIs were encouraged to bring home. As part of our propaganda, keeping everybody on the home front all excited about being part of helping, fight the war and everything on the home front. So American GIs were encouraged to bring home German war souvenirs, be it daggers and so on. Well, we sold a bust of Adolf Hitler this auction, which had been in one family since like 1950. It had come here from these people came here from Vienna, Austria, and they had brought this back with them, a war trophy, and it's now going back to Germany in a museum.
Right. Yes.
Again, historic items like this. This isn't to praise Adolf Hitler by any means,
right.
But we can't forget.
History is history. Yeah.
History, if you forget about it, it will repeat itself. And this is so important that these kind of items belong in museums and everything, so we don't forget and we can talk about things like World War II.
What did the bronze bust go for?
$10,000.
Isn't that great?
$10,000.
It took a couple auctions, but we found the right buyer at the right time. And, we do have buyers from all over the world. Like we said, this one's going to Germany. We actually had a customer who flew in from Europe and bought some things for his museum as well. So for bidding platforms, bidders from all across the world, give us a call at 815-923-7000. The one item, Randy, that you've been mentioning that we always want to get for auction are cannons. Remember the one you said that was in the guy's garden?
Yeah.
You know what that went for?
I don't.
The howitzer sold for, hold on, I got it right here, $6,000 for a piece of lawn art he had in his garden. So go check out your back door, folks.
Thanks to this radio show that.
Yeah, he did hear us on the radio, so that was fantastic. You can always email us at consign@DonleyAuctions.com. It's DONLEY auctions.com. Send us some information, some photographs. That's always very helpful. If you're not a computer person, that's okay. Just call us at 815-923-7000. But don't go anywhere, folks. We just want to give you quick highlights from the auction and how military and firearm items are selling really well right now. But coming up next, we have a big announcement, don't we?
I guess you would call it that.
I think it is. I think it is. You're going to have to stay tuned to find out what that is. But we have a special guest coming up in our next segment. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to the Donley Auctions Hour right here on AM 560. The Answer. Special guest coming up next. Big announcement. We're also going to be talking about how you can consign at our future auctions. AM 560, The Answer.
They've been called auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, even veterans of vintage. And they can introduce themselves. Thanks for listening. This is the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour. I'm Susan, co-owner of Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois, here with Randy Donley today. Hi, Randy.
Hey, Susan.
Hi, we have Mike Donley on the phone with us today. Mike and Randy are the owners of the Wild West Town in Union, Illinois. And Mike, you out there?
I am here. Yep.
Yeah, I understand you have some news information for us today.
Well, you know what, Susan, I just wanted, before Mike talks about it, I just wanted to point out that we've been talking about the new addition to Donley Auctions with the Donley,
Real estate group?
The Donley Group, yeah.
Yes.
That my daughter Shauna is heading up. And so many people have asked me constantly, what's going on with the Wild West Town? When are you auctioning
daily we get calls
the
about
Wild
it.
West Town contents and
Are you
everything?
still open?
Yeah. So I thought it was appropriate at this time to bring Mike on, who's managed the Wild West Town for so many years, to talk about exactly what the game plan is for the contents and the Wild West Town itself. So, Mike, thanks for coming on today. What should we be telling people about the future of the Wild West Town?
Well, as we know, it closed mainly due to COVID, 3 years, almost 4 years ago now.
Wow.
And the decision was made not to reopen, mainly because the auctions were just taken off so crazy. And then, as the auctions grew, we were taking over some of that space and everything. And I think you pretty much made the decision that the buildings don't conform to exactly what we need or what you need for the auction. So you're going to be, looking for much bigger space.
I without a doubt need much bigger space than we have, even though the Wild West Town, there's at least, 40,000 square foot?
Right, yeah, but you're looking at double that for what you're going to need the way you're growing.
But the beauty of the Wild West Town is it's built on 24 acres. It's all zoned commercial and so on and so forth. So it seems to me kind of ridiculous for us to try to remodel this into what we need for auctions when, in fact, it's just a perfect corporate events center as it is. So...
Well, that's it. Yeah. Before we make any big decisions on reconfiguring this whole thing, we figured, well, let's offer it as it is, which is a beautiful park here. I mean, everything is here. All the infrastructure anybody would need is here to reopen a park, or like you see, an event center, a music center, anything. You've got parking lots. You've got all the infrastructure here.
Back in the day when we operated the Wild West Town, people used to come to me all the time and say, oh, my God, this is another Country Thunder. You're all zoned for music and liquor and everything one would need. And there's even a campgrounds next door adjacent to it. So for a event center just like that, like you say, for a music center or anything. So the point is, we're not saying it clear enough, I think, is we're putting the park up for sale.
That's right.
That's correct.
And, we're just 4 miles off of I-90 on Route 20. So the access to the tollway is a fantastic location. And, Mike, can you tell the listeners how big the property is?
Yeah, we have 24 acres here. We have several buildings which comprise about 40,000 square foot. I mean, everything is here that you would possibly need. I mean, there's, like I say, plenty of parking. We've got over 9 acres of vacant to do whatever you want with here. I mean, we ran it for 45 years. It was a perfect venue for weddings, and I mean, how many?
Oh my God, the thousands of weddings that we have done on this property, and that's without using what is really the main museum building. Right. Could even be another banquet hall. So right now we've got a 12,000-foot commercial a building that was the museum. There's a restaurant building, a 6,000-foot restaurant. Another 8,000-foot banquet hall. I mean, all these things are intact and ready for a new operator if they so desire to use it for, again, restaurants, banquets, and events.
Or an amusement park. I mean, we still got the roller coaster here. We got the carousel here. We got the canoe ride here. I mean, all the rides are still here and everything. So
well, even the train is. Am I correct?
The train, yeah.
The train is the original. That was the first train from the Brookfield Zoo.
That's correct. Yeah.
Where did we ever get that train? Do you remember?
Yeah, it came out of the wagon wheel out in Rockton.
Oh my goodness! When when the wagon wheel closed, right, we acquired the train, and they're the ones that had actually gotten it from the Brookfield Zoo.
Yeah. Was,
so if you guys sell the property, are the contents in the museum and everything going to be intact, or are we selling that separately?
Could be. I think that'd be up to the new owner. If somebody is interested in it, they could buy it as is or however they want it. So
basically what we're all saying is right now, all the contents are intact. If somebody wants to buy it as an amusement park, everything is still there. But if somebody's interested in it for something else, we would then hold an auction and sell off the contents and separately, and then the new buyers could buy just the land and buildings without the contents.
Correct.
Right. I vote for Country Thunder South. Where our vendors out there working on Country Thunder, we can give them another location.
Here's another interesting sidelight is over the years, we used to use this all the time for movie and commercial shoots, which is actually taking place. You've got one going on right now, don't you, Mike?
That's correct, yeah. We've got a music video being shot out here right now. I mean, yeah, for locations and such like that, I mean, we have been... We've never publicized who's filmed here, but there's been a lot of things shot here over the years. Yeah,
right.
And here's something that's even crazier. I mean, you talk about the different types of things this venue could be used for. The other day, the police were out answering a false alarm in the middle of the night, and as the police officers were walking through, they're saying, "Oh my God, we got to talk to the county. This would be a perfect tactical training center for police use." Mm-hmm. So again, there's so many opportunities or uses for this property.
They also use the parking lot for the Flight for Life helicopter landings. We've had several of those come out.
That's incredible.
Not for anything happening at the Wild West Town, but for them to have a landing spot. It's perfect location.
So what would you say, Mike? We're going to offer it for sale this summer. And if it does not sell this summer, then we're going to reconfigure it just for auctions because the auction business is expanding rapidly. But we could really use ourselves a building that is 50,000 square foot with loading docks and so on and so forth.
I know you guys have tons of memories there, obviously over 40 plus years. What's your favorite memory? And I got to tell you, my favorite one is, of course, Turkey Testicle Festival.
Oh, my God.
Remember how many people we had at those events? Oh, my gosh. What a fun time. It's going to be missed.
I used to enjoy all the school groups. We used to do the educational programs and the scout overnights. We had the nights at the museum with all the scouts and everything over the years. And stuff.
Bonfires in the backyard. Yeah, that was great.
Our pumpkins. Remember our fall festival with the Indians with the pumpkins and stuff?
It was a great memories. Everybody that ever talks to me about the Wild West Town, all they do is talk so positively about the fun memories that they had bringing their kids and grandkids and everything to the park. And nobody can believe it's closing. But the reality is for us, We did it so many years, over 40 years. And now, again, with the auctions, we really need to stay laser focused on what we're doing.
That's right.
Well, it's the tiger by the tail. It sure is. It's
and all the weddings, we had people I run into today who got married there. They're still married. So that's a good sign, too. It's got some good positive mojo there.
Well, Susan, we did so many weddings for so many years that there were multiple times that I did people's wedding and their 25th wedding anniversaries.
And sometimes their second weddings, too.
We actually did have, I got to tell you, one bride had 4 weddings.
I remember that, yes.
At our location. She just liked to get married.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, a lot of fun memories for sure. Fundraisers, we did a lot of political events there. The list goes on and on. I can't imagine what's going to happen with it next. Yeah.
All the police events that were held there because, of course.
Company picnics. Remember those huge company picnics? We did company picnics to 2,000 people here.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
I remember one, they had a zip line from one end all the way to the other end of the park, and people would zip line across there. So a lot of things to do with the Wild West town. Mike, if you want to hang with us for the next segment, we can continue talking about that. And also, we have some unbelievable items coming up in our July auction that Mike's going to touch on, and our June phonograph auction. So don't go anywhere, Mike. You stay there. We'll talk more about the Wild West town. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour right here on AM 560, The Answer. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour. I'm Susan, here with Randy Donley and Mike Donley. We're talking about the Wild West town. Some big news. It's going up for sale this summer. So keep an eye on our website for more information. Or is there a number they could call, Randy?
Well, of course, always call the 815-923-7000 number. And when you're looking for the Donley Auctions website, remember, it's spelled Donley.
Donley Auctions with an S.
D-O-N-N.
Right, DonleyAuctions.com. So, Mike, thanks for giving us that information about the Wild West town. That's very exciting news. But let's talk about what's coming up next at Donley Auctions. June auction.
Our June auction
right around the corner. We're working feverishly on it right now. That's our antique phonograph and music box collections.
Right. So Mike, tell us that once again. I think we touched on it last week, but mention more about the very rare phonograph archives.
Okay, yeah, the Victor Archives. When the Victor Talking Machine Company was formed in 1901, we have their first meetings of the minutes of the meeting of the people who originally put the company together, going forward up until 1926, basically when the company was taken over by RCA, by Radio Corporation of America, and it became RCA Victor. So in 1904, there was a devastating fire, burned the factory down, and they thought a lot of the early records were lost, but they were in a safe. In fact, they were rescued later on and taken home by a gentleman who kept them for years and years and years. And some of the early documents actually have singe marks. The safe got so hot that it was actually burning the edge of the paper inside the safe. But these rare documents for the Victor Talking Machine have survived, and they're coming up. They're going to be sold as one collection here. I mean, for researchers and historians and such like that, I mean, it is a treasure trove of corporate archives from one of the most iconic companies in the world. And
now these have never been offered for sale before, so this is like a one-time chance to get your hands on this kind of stuff, because once it gets bought up, it'll probably either go to an institution or museum or what have you, and or if it goes into somebody's collection, it'll probably remain there for the next 30, 40 years. So this is it. If you're interested in rare, paperwork from Victor Phonograph Company, this is the best.
And this lot goes up for auction on June 15th, which is a Thursday.
No, Wednesday, isn't it?
Wednesday, Thursday is the auction.
Is the paper member.
But the archives are going to go up on Thursday.
Okay. Yeah.
June 15th. They are online. So if you go to DonleyAuctions.com, you can check out the catalog already.
And there's other great paperwork in there, too. We have a handwritten, hand-signed letter by Edison, a handwritten, hand-signed letter by Alexander Graham Bell. I mean, just unbelievable historic paperwork coming up in that auction.
And the phonographs, the antique phonographs themselves that are in this collection and music boxes are extraordinary. I mean, we have two collections, one out of Milwaukee, one out of Western Springs. Yeah. And they're just incredible. This is a great opportunity. If you're an advanced collector, there's machines for you. Very rare phonographs. If you're a beginning collector or would just like one for your office or home, just a machine, these are all in playing condition, either cylinder or disc records. I mean, so there will be things in every price range. I'm telling you, there are phonographs in here in this collection you'll be able to buy for as little as $50. So the price range is going to go from $50 to
$50,000.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw the Victor with a rare papier-mâché horn. How rare is that?
Mike, speak up on that.
Yeah, that's pretty rare. I mean, it was made for just a couple of years. It was papier-mâché, but it was made, the finish on it looked like hard polished rubber. It's a very unusual horn, and I've never seen one. I mean, no, I've seen pictures of them, but I've never seen one in person. That's how rare they are.
Wow.
Yeah, and again, how many of them survived? Because I mean, papier-mâché in itself is very volatile, and to keep it all these years in such perfect shape. I'm surprised at the condition of all this stuff.
Yeah, and
nobody thought this stuff was going to be last for 100 years old.
Right.
It was never made to be.
That particular Victor machine is valued at $4,000 to $5,000 with that horn on there. It is online. It's red. It's the red one, right? So you can check that out at DonleyAuctions.com.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly, Susan, you hit it right on the head. People really need to go to the website now because both of these collections, you can see the whole collection up online right now.
Don't forget some of the great music boxes, too. We have some unbelievable music boxes in there that...
There's one valued at $20,000 to $30,000. Can you pronounce that? It's a French name, Mike.
The Ferrers.
The Ferrers, the grand cylinder music
Yeah.
box. Yes, wow.
That's the beauty. We got some beautiful Regina music boxes.
Upright coin-up styles, all kinds, yeah.
So tabletop and everything.
Even little miniature music boxes. I mean, we've got something that runs the whole gamut. So, again, with music boxes, anything from a few hundred on up to tens of thousands. So,
and you got parts and pieces and a nipper collection out there.
Yeah.
There's just all kinds of stuff. For records.
Yep.
What else you got? We have it from those two collections coming up June 14th and 15th. Mark your calendars. It is live, so you can come out to Union, Illinois on Wednesday or Thursday of that week, and the auction starts at 10 a.m. We'll talk more about that in our next segment, so don't go anywhere. We're going to tell you how you can consign to us and how you can bid with us.
And Mike, hang in there. I want to talk to you on the next segment again.
Mike, thanks again for all that information. Don't go anywhere, folks. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour right here on AM 560, The Answer.
And now, more of the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
We are back with the Donley Auctions Hour. Susan and Randy Donley here from Union, Illinois. Did a little recap of the auction we held last week. Mike Donley's on the line with us still, talking about the Wild West town and the future of the property there. And we have some great auctions coming up, you guys. And I would like Mike and Randy, you guys tell us a little bit about what we're looking for in the next few months.
Well, Susan, always, we keep preaching to the choir here that we're always looking for guns and military relics. I mean, that's always.
I think everybody knows that. We're waiting on your phone calls, 815-923-7000.
That's probably a full 1/3 of all the business we do at Donley Auctions. But, Mike, give us some thoughts about some of the things that you think we should be asking for.
Coin-operated games, of course, pinball machines, video games, anything from arcade machines, such like that, and gambling machines. Coin collections. I mean, we have a specialist on staff here who just handles coins. We do automobiles, Petroliana, signs. If you got an old gas sign in your garage, you'd be surprised. That could be in the thousands of dollars.
Or sometimes tens of thousands, yeah.
Yeah, old gas pumps, things like that. A lot of times, Randy, people have a relative that passes away, and they have a whole house they have to liquidate and such like that. And we always tell people, don't throw anything away. I mean, and don't let anybody get in there and try and say, hey, I'll buy this for $5. Some people, especially if you're not involved in it, you don't know the value of stuff, and you could be looking at thousands of dollars for one little item.
Well, even at our own auction, I mean, we've so many times pre-auction estimated things that we feel are maybe high, like a pistol. We pre-auction estimated $8,000 to $12,000. It goes for $25,000. I mean,
that's the beauty of an auction. When two guys want something, they'll get it in a fight over it, and that's the beauty of an auction.
That's right. And we had a call from a listener the other day. You guys talked to him. He said he had some mid-century furniture. We're like, okay, furniture is a tough sell, but you talked to him and found out that he has early invention items. He's got a collection of fans and some telephones and things like that. So it's always good to call because we'll find out what you have and be able to give you some direction on what to do with it.
Yeah, we're always happy to take the calls and give you an idea of what we think. I mean, that's what we're here for.
And, and this is no obligation. When we come out to your home and everything, we're not out there to try to high pressure somebody into selling something or anything like that. We'll give you honest opinions of what we believe things are worth and how we can help. I mean, again, there's no obligation when we come out.
That's right. It's more of a partnership, too. I think people need to realize that. We're there to help you get the most money. We're not there to get it as cheap as possible. That's our job with an auction, is to get the most money possible for all of you.
And make it fit in your wallet.
Fit in your wallet. That's right.
Mike, how many, I bring this up all the time, how many bars and back bars, old saloon bars, have we pulled out of the Chicago area?
Oh, I can't even begin to count. I mean, you think of all those old taverns and everything crawling around in there and pulling them out, yeah?
And then many people know this about you, some don't, that you were actually a projectionist for years, so you're very involved in the movie industry in that we're always looking for movie memorabilia.
Oh, yeah, old posters, old projectors, things like that, even old film. I mean, there's big money in that. There really is.
And it's surprising to me how many people have collected, movie memorabilia and still have no idea how to sell it.
Just the other day with a group of stuff came in, a box of photographs that the guy said, he said, I don't know what these are. He said, just sell them with the rest of the stuff. And I started looking through them, and they're all autographed pictures of silent movie stars. I mean, this man's going to be shocked. There's thousands of dollars in this box. Yeah. The photographer just this morning said, what do you want me to do with these? And I started looking through them. I said, set them aside. I got to start lotting them out.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. So we'll have a movie memorabilia auction coming up, hopefully this summer or into the fall. But we also have a camera collection we're working on. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the camera collection is an actual complete museum that we're going to be auctioning off of early camera equipment dating, from the, 1800s right on through modern Leica cameras and so on and so forth. So that's going to run the gamut of all cameras.
And that's coming up this summer as well. I believe it's September.
Correct. September. Yep.
So watch our website for that as well, folks. Our calendar is online at DonleyAuctions.com. What else are we looking for, guys?
Oh, my goodness. The list goes on and on. We just had a person the other day come in and has a collection of marbles, Susan. And one would think, marbles. You think of a jar of marbles people have.
Yeah, but some of those are extremely valuable.
Oh, my goodness.
You have to know what you're looking for, though.
But there again, we've got an expert that does.
Right. That's right, we do.
Marbles can be thousands and thousands of dollars.
Wow. There are some serious collectors out there in the world who are looking for those rare items. So what kind of
collection do you have out there? Tell us what you collect and what you have, because we're always looking for the next great collection.
Right. We're working on that Black Americana memorabilia right now, too. That's coming up in later this summer as well. Some great pieces there, part of history. So keep an eye on our website at donleyauctions.com or call us at 815-923-7000.
You got it. So having said that, I do want to remind everybody, too, that museums, we're always looking for museum contents, and lawyers and executors, if you have an estate that you need us to handle for you, please don't hesitate to call us at 815-923-7000.
That's right. It's a no obligation chit chat, really. We're very honest. We just want to tell you what you have and what you can do with it. So keep an eye out. Check out your garage, your attic, your footlocker, anything you might have inherited, and we will definitely tell you next steps. Mike, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate all that information. We'll see you back at the office. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour, AM 560, The Answer.